what advice do you have for somebody who wants to figure out in, what their own weak links are? Are there any advice you'd have there?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So I think the best place to start is to sort of understand what is your external footprint look like for any company, right? And by external footprint, what I mean is, your company could have multiple domains. Your company could have multiple applications, but not all of them are exposed on the internet, right?
Right.
And the ones that are exposed on the internet, the domains that you have exposed, right, those are the ones that are most uh, vulnerable to attacks, right? Those are the domains and applications that the attackers go after first before they can even get into like some of the internal infrastructure. So having a good understanding, like if you're using a cloud provider like Amazon or Google or what have you, having a good understanding of, okay, how do you like set up your domains, what are the applications you host, right? So this concept of asset inventory is probably the first step that you'll have to have a good understanding of, because if you don't know what you have, there's no way you can secure those assets, right? So that's my first recommendation, is to just kind of understand the lay of the land, understand your external footprint, and then sort of see, okay, which ones are these that processes customer information, right? So after you have that list, you have to prioritize, because there's no way possible for you to secure each and every domain, right? So this priority based risk assessment is probably one of the most practical and effective ways to go about it.
That's great. That's great because about a third of our listeners work in large corporates, and a third and another third, roughly, are small business owners
Mhm.
and entrepreneurs and startups and founders and stuff. So, when you're starting a company or running a company, you're so busy just trying to do your products and services and get your
Mhm.
customers and and do run the business that you don't
Yeah,
have bandwidth, you feel, to put time into this. But it's an important thing to look at, especially since small businesses and individuals are, solopreneurs, and especially with any kind of high profile or visibility or high net worth, you're the most susceptible to getting targeted because you don't have the large security team. You don't have
yeah,
Anshuman and your colleagues working, full time every day to help protect a large company. And then the other
yeah.
third of our listeners are just individual consumers interested in learning how to protect themselves. What is there anything that you would advise, somebody who's listening, if they just want to see, like, do they have vulnerabilities? We get asked the question a lot, like, is
Mhm.
my information on the dark web and things like that. And
Mhm.
and I say this because there's a lot of companies, and not all of them as helpful and reputable as one might
Mhm.
think.